The Alter TCG launched with 3 leaders for every faction, but not all of its leaders are created equal. Let's talk about how to elevate their weaker ones. In contrast to Lyra, Axiom isn't doing too badly in terms of overall leader balance. Both Subash and Marimo and Trace and Rosa were well represented at anchors, with Trace favored for being the more balanced hero. Its late game consistency and draw power is more reliable than Subash's early game brassbook-centric aggression, but that doesn't make Subash bad so much it represents 2 different playstyles in general. It's really only Sierra and Oddball that is, appropriately, the odd ones out. In theory, Sierra and Oddball overlaps with Subash's design. Whereas Subash is feed my reserves to get bugs, Sierra's early game is set around playing 3+ mana landmarks to gain advantages while the hero-generated brass bugs mitigates what will otherwise be a massive tempo loss from burning all of your mana on delayed effects. In practice, Sierra needs another expansion or 2 to really kick in. Right now, the single most important landmark for Axiom is Off-Faction Haven Bravo's Bastion, a 2-mana landmark that makes the overall Axiom game plan stronger while replacing itself for effectively neutral card advantage, and doesn't trigger Sierra's abilities at all. This is a similar dilemma with the rare version of Armored Jammer, theoretically the best control permanent in the game with the ability to sabotage twice, potentially in the same turn, and comboing beautifully with Rare Boom for devastating control potential. But at 2 mana, you're actually discouraged for utilizing it in a Sierra list, as it represents a potential loss of field control that more expensive landmarks have. Her best overall option are Common Brassbug Hub, which is basically designed for Sierra, and Brassbug Hive for permanent late game pressure. But we really mean late game, as the 6 cost option is a brutal opportunity cost check, even after stacking the deck with as many Martingales, Foundry Engineers, and Foundry Mechanics as you can. Everybody else's 6 mana usually wins the fight on the spot, but paying 6 for a 3/3/3 is nowhere near as guaranteed. And spending all of that just to eat a Banshee Gate is extremely painful. Worse, if you are maximizing its discounts, you're paying some pretty mediocre cards to get to that point, making your setup turns that much more painful. The next set of options are all card advantage generators. Axiom Reprocessor for free resupplies, Kilana Generator for cards in hand, the Ouroboros to basically dig deeper every resupply, and the Foundry Axiom Signature Landmark to double up from reserve effects. All these are decent, but as important as card advantage is in any TCG, Altered has a brutal pressure check every single turn. A singular 2/2/2 Brassbug is easily trumped, and losing both expeditions at once is not something you can just take for granted. But the solution for this seems pretty straightforward. Sierra leads landmarks with more immediate power, or ones that allow her to build more momentum from casting permanents. Rare Armored Jammer's Win and Leave Your Landmark Zone effect is the perfect case example for how this can work, though an even more straightforward one was simply to give a powerful landmark a sacrificial effect as a quick action. Something like boosts, fleeting, anchored, or other effects hard to find in the faction would definitely do the trick, much less just flat out summoning more Brassbugs. That uniquely benefits Sierra over the other Axiom leaders. Without Sierra's leader ability to squeeze further value from a consumable landmark, such effects play less nicely to the Haven-centric plans found in both Trace and Subash, who want things to go from reserve to expedition instead of any other zone. As landmarks are also harder to target with fewer ways to discard them than there are sabotages, it gives Sierra players a potential threat factor that other players will struggle to deal with as well. Now, of the 3 leaders, I do feel that Sierra has one of the highest straight-up fun potentials, as she lends very nicely to the sort of mindset that finds joy in making value generators and deck builders. For now, however, she's regulated to gimmick status and the dream of ceaseless waves of robot minions.